Hi friends, how are you? Kevin Goatee gutting the sacred cow. Whoop whoop. Trigger warning. Guess what? This episode is going to be Joey from So Wizards podcast taking down Harry Potter. That's right, nerds. Get ready to be offended because Joey takes no prisoners. Before we get to it, big announcement. Guess what? We've got our live show on the books, January 23rd. Join us in Clifton, New Jersey at the AMC Movie Theater to watch Bill and Joanne from The Morning Show, who've both been on this podcast multiple times, tag team together and come after the 1984 classic, Karate Kid. You can see the movie in person. We're going to watch the movie together. And then right after that, we're going to do a live show. You're going to see us tape the episode with Bill and Joanne right there. Come to the AMC 24 in Clifton, New Jersey. Tickets on sale now at guttingthesacredcow.com. Don't forget, speaking of the website, go there every day, guttingthesacredcow.com, for articles we post every day. Movies we've seen, list of 10, you know the drill. And if you want to advertise with us, guttingthesacredcow@gmail.com. So let's not waste any more time. Let's see if that little wizard can take a beating from Joey from So Wizard Podcast. Here we go. Enjoy.
Gather round, here's what I know. It's just that this cow has got to go. I know some people kinda like it, yeah, it's trending right now. Yeah, that doesn't matter, cause we're gutting the sacred cow.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Kevin Goatee, Kevin Israel, gutting the sacred cow. What's going on, kids? We're having a good old time. Today we are joined by Joey from So Wizard Podcast. Joey, how goes it? What's going on?
Party people! What is going on, guys? We are ready to rock and roll.
Joe and Kevin Israel, how are you today, sir? What's going on with you?
I'm great. I'm shoving Halloween candy into my face.
Oh, really? You jumped the gun already? We're taping.
Oh, we bought one of those giant mix bags,
I see.
and we're like, oh, we're just going to keep this in the back. That lasted 6 days. And then we were like, I was like, there's chocolate somewhere in this house.
Yeah.
And now we have to go out and buy another bag of candy for Halloween.
I have no problems in admitting that I go right to Dwayne Reed the day after for half off to get any other kind of Milky Way stuff. Okay, good. I'm going to say I might be not the only one who does that.
Anytime Reese's comes out with a seasonal cup,
yes,
or treat, the Christmas ones are usually the best.
The trees,
but
or
I will
the
stock
Easter,
up on those.
The Easter eggs and the trees are the pinnacle of all the cups by far.
They should just make those all year. I don't get why they're holding back on us.
I don't know what they do differently. The fucking trees and the eggs are noticeably better than the regular cups, which are amazing, but
they do taste different. There's a different texture, and I can't believe we just spent 3 minutes talking about this.
I can't either because Joey came on our lovely podcast, guttingthesacredcow.com. Don't forget that, GTSC podcast. If you have not written a 5-star review, please do so. A 2-star rating on your podcast platform of choice. Joey from So Wizard Podcast has decided to take down, and I guarantee this film is going to anger a lot of fucking people, which is why I agreed to it. His first choice, I said, nah. But as soon as he threw this one out there, I said, yep, we're doing Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
What was his first choice?
What was it? It was Jesus. I'm sorry. I have a lot of people I'm talking to here to try and look for guests. Joey, what was your first choice again? I kind of said, nah.
I originally came up with Wonder Woman,
yeah.
But I know you guys have been doing a lot of comic book movies lately, so that's fine.
Yeah.
So we decided to piss off a different group of geeks.
Oh, this is going to
why not?
The millennial nerds are going to lose their fucking shit right now.
Somebody's breaking a wand over this, I can tell you that much.
Which costs $25 at Universal Studios. Good. Go there and you see them all running around.
But it has a griffin hair in it, so it's worth
it. I'd rather have never mind. I'll save my jokes for later, as I always do. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Make no bones about it. A $125 million budget. A gross in 2001 of $1 billion. In
That's
2020,
insanity.
isn't it? Well, hold on. In 2020 money, a budget of $183 million, a haul of $1.469 billion. Boy, you nerds and your disposable income, I tell you, you know how to make a franchise, and oh my God.
You know what it is? There's been a large for the 80s and 90s, 70s even, geeks, nerds, we were all pushed into the darkness. We were all following all this stuff we loved, and we all wanted it to go mainstream, and it never did. And then right around like the end of the 90s, early 2000s, it all started popping up, and people were like, oh, this shit's cool. We like this. So we're like, yeah, we've liked it for 30, 40 years. And now suddenly you're all on the bandwagon. We don't get thrown in the lockers anymore for collecting comic books. Like, yeah, welcome to the...
You still do.
Well, no, it's because of the marching band that I got thrown in lockers.
I was going to guess the Dungeons and Dragons aspect. That was
I didn't tell people about that. That was a secret. What are you, crazy? You don't wear that badge on your shirt in 1993.
I was going to say, you'd rather be gay in 1993 than admit you do Dungeons and Dragons in 1993. Kevin Israel.
Nothing gets panties wrapping like that leather bag of dice.
Oof.
Mine was velvet, thank you.
I was going to say, is that a euphemism for a man's scrotum there, Joey? It's cute. IMDb,
maybe.
IMDb, Kevin Israel, as you know, is a scale from 1 to 10 with decimal points. What score did Harry Potter get, Kevin Israel, on the old IMDb?
8.4.
Joey, want to take a guess?
I purposely did not look before we did this so I wouldn't cheat. I'll say maybe like an 8.7, 8.8.
7.6. 7.6, a little lower.
Wow.
Yeah. Rotten Tomatoes, as we know, is a 1 through 100 percentage score level. We'll start with you, Joey. The critics' Rotten Tomatoes score, what was it?
71.
Kevin Israel.
88.
81. Both of you in the neighborhood.
Overshot.
Audience score, Kevin Israel.
Oh, I'm going to say like a 92.
Joey.
Yeah, I'll go with 90. I'm sure a ton of nerds probably spammed the score. So
82.
Oh, wow. I feel like it's dropped over the years. People have probably been coming back down to earth about this movie.
The bloom is off the rose. Quotes.
Not as sacred as we thought, I guess.
Well, we'll find out. Quotes. Tut tut. Fame clearly isn't everything, Mr. Potter. And that's the only quote I have from this film. This is not a quotable film. Kevin Israel, what jumped out at you?
You're a wizard, Harry.
No. Good old Robbie Coltrane. Or as I know him as the obese Russian guy in Bond, GoldenEye, and another Bond film I forgot, which was terrible. Joey, any quotes from you?
10 points to Gryffindor. Over and over again.
No. 5 fun facts. 10-year-old Rupert Grint sent in a video of him dressed as a drama teacher, rapping how much he wanted to do the role. Nothing will send shivers up your butthole more than seeing an English ginger rap.
I want to see that video. Is that available?
I didn't look, but I just saw that in my fact research. Number 2.
Harvey Weinstein's vault.
Oh,
wow, that's true. No, he wasn't gay. He was just a perv.
Love me some Weasley.
J.K. Rowling insisted the entire cast be British, but there is only one non-Brit. Playing the role of Griphook, which sounds to me like a Transformers character. Thank you. Vern Troyer was in this film as Grip. I don't know who Griphook was.
Oh, he was. I have a bone to pick about them. He was one of the goblins.
Oh, okay.
In the bank.
J.K. Rowling was asked to play Harry Potter's mom, but she said 9. Daniel Radcliffe was allergic to the glasses that gave him whiteheads. He was also allergic to the green contact lenses to match Harry Potter's character's eyes, but he had to lose those as well. Looks like Voldemort could have taken out Harry Potter with a peanut butter sandwich.
I like that they were trying to be so true to the book. They gave him green contacts because they knew that fans of the book would be like, he has green eyes.
Well,
imposter.
They also tried making Hermione have buck teeth because she has that in the comic book, the book. But they couldn't fit, so they gave up on that idea in Emma Watson's mouth.
And we like our leading ladies hot.
Is she hot? No.
Now?
No.
You know what's sad? And I said this to my wife. Did you ever see the SNL skit with Lindsay Lohan where she plays Hermione?
I haven't watched a full SNL episode. I couldn't tell you how long. I've seen.
I mean, this goes back 20 years. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So whenever I picture Hermione, I always picture Lindsay Lohan in that low-cut shirt, and that's how I think of Hermione. I'll send you the link, Kev. You'll get it.
Movie would have been a lot better that way.
Emma Watson falls into Natalie Portman territory where she's too sprightly and kiddish for me to find her attractive.
Kevin has his standards.
I mean, they're like little girls. I just don't.
No, I don't. I mean, I don't. She doesn't really do anything for me.
Number 5, Richard Harris had no desire to play Dumbledore, but caved when his 11-year-old granddaughter said she would never talk to him if he didn't.
And then he died.
He did. See, Graham, that's what happens when you listen to your snot-nosed kid.
Go with your gut, old man.
Yeah. At least he died wealthy, unless his agent got it all. Kevin Israel, did you have any? Oh, you did your quotes. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I didn't pass over that. All right. It is now time, because Joey's already, you could just tell, frothing at the mouth. And you can see the sweat coming out of that bald head of his. Stone Cold Steve Austin style, ready to come out and just tear this film apart. So why keep the man waiting? Kevin Israel, it is now time for Joey to gut the
sacred cow.
All right. Well, with this movie, I tried to come at it from a person watching it for the first time. I have to be honest with you. I've never read the books. My family, my wife, my 2 children, are huge Harry Potter fans. I've never read the books. I couldn't make it more than 5-6 pages in. I was just like, this is terrible. I hate the movies. Everyone in my family has seen and loves the movies. I could barely make it through them. So I really tried to come at this from a perspective of somebody who hasn't really seen the books before and was their first time watching it. Really, I felt like this movie should have been called Harry Potter and the Endless Exposition. The entire, I want to say maybe first hour and a half of this movie is really just explaining the world of Harry Potter. There's no movie here. It's walk from one part to the next, talk to some strange old white guy in bad makeup, and he's like blah, 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 about nonsense, and then you walk to the next white guy who tells you about more nonsense. It's awful. It's excruciating. I kept hitting pause and looking at how much time had elapsed. I'm like, oh God, we got to be 3 hours into this movie, and it had been like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I wanted to die. I literally wanted to die while watching this movie. I actually thought maybe I had died. I had maybe slipped on something in the house and fallen down, and this was like my punishment for being a terrible person, was to have to watch this movie. But it's just it's exposition. When they finally get to the school, I think it's maybe an hour into the movie when they get to the school, like, oh, thank God, they're at school finally. The movie is going to start. Here we go. Harry Potter, bust out that Sorcerer's Stone. Let's go. No. More exposition. And then they have to learn about a game. This is like soccer or some shit with like brooms. It's awful. And they have to explain to you the whole game. Like, why couldn't they have just played basketball or baseball, anything? I know it's British, so, it's going to be some sort of form of soccer, which is bad enough. But like, this is the reason why we threw tea in the ocean all those years ago. This is the reason. These type of terrible things. This is like a punishment for that. Almost, it felt like it.
Because if they didn't create a sport for it, we wouldn't have Quidditch tournaments.
But yeah, God, those must be really exciting. You know, there's just so many weird things in the movie too. The scene with the hat like stuck out to me. So there's like 700 kids in this room, and they take this hat and they put it on you, and they say, the hat's like, you will be in this house. But it talks about every kid, and I'm like, man, could you imagine being like the 300th kid in this room, and you got to sit there while this fucking hat like talks for 15 minutes on every single person? It reminded me of being like in a line at the grocery store. You're at the express line, and then all of a sudden the lady in front of you has 17 items and wants to write a check. And it felt awful. Like, oh my God, I can't believe this.
Writing a check. What is this, 1988?
Excruciating watch. I know. It was just an excruciating watch. I can't believe this movie has made over $1 billion and launched a franchise. It's just something that, coming into it without having the nostalgia or the background of the books, it just made it like so hard to watch. There's nothing here for me, man. Like, I know it's a kid's movie and I'm not a kid, but like, I can't fathom like where the rabid excitement comes from for 6 more movies in this franchise after watching this first one. It was brutal. So.
Gotcha. What else about it besides the exposition factor of it and the Quidditch? What else just got your nuts in a knot?
Well, you know, there's a lot of people in the movie that you don't really learn anything about. Like, here comes Professor Snape. I think he has 3 lines in the movie, and then he's gone. There was a lot of that, which really was frustrating. The fact that the plot doesn't kick in until there's probably about 45 minutes left in the movie was awful. That stupid chess game they played, like, oh my God, like, I'm gonna sit here and watch these guys play chess now for an hour? Jesus Christ. A lot of the green screen and CGI was really bad, especially for a big budget movie. I was stunned at the poor CGI, especially when they're playing Quidditch. It looked like a
Quidditch, yeah, the Quidditch
game.
didn't hold up.
Oh my God, it was awful. Like, how did that even get by the editors? Like, oh my God, that looks terrible. There were a lot of weird green screen shots too, where it's like, aren't you guys filming at a castle? You can't put the castle in the background. There's a lot of really, and the movie itself is like directed really timidly. It felt like a TV show. I know a lot of people like to criticize MCU movies, especially Avengers, for looking like a TV show. This looked like the pilot of a TV show. I didn't see anybody could have directed this. There was no flair that said, oh, that's a Christopher Columbus movie. Other than Discovering America, I don't see how he could put this on his resume. So not feeling that either.
Gotcha. What about the casting? What do you think about the casting? Did it hit you like the casting, dislike the casting? Talk to us.
No, I mean, it's just a bunch of little British kids talking. There really wasn't much there for me, man. It was tough because their school was weird because they're supposed to be 10 or 11, and then there's like 18, 19-year-old kids walking around. The only really casting I liked was there's one kid on the Quidditch team that had really bad teeth.
Guess who has notes about that one?
Harry Potter. yeah. And I was like, oh, well, there's the British kid. And that was,
you know, he's a bad guy. I mean, he has bad teeth.
There was nothing there in the casting. You could tell that Alan Rickman, right, he has bad teeth. Alan Rickman, you could tell, is on another level, acting-wise. Even his one scene with the little kids where he actually had lines, you could tell he was on a bit of another level acting-wise. Everybody else just seemed really, really just little kids talk. The whole movie just felt like little kids talking the whole time. It was infuriating.
You think?
Go ahead, Kevin.
What do you think about the world building they did, though? I mean, this was a pretty big undertaking to build this whole world that was set up through all of these books and to establish an audience that might have been unfamiliar with the books.
Right. Well, as somebody that was unfamiliar with it from the books, it's just brutal. It felt like 75% of the movie was world building and not interesting world building. It was a lot of tell, don't show, and a lot of stuff that was just thrown off right after they introduced it. Here's some goblins. They work in a bank. Stay away from them. And then that's it. They'll never see them again. Okay. Here's a dragon. It's named after an Eddie Murphy movie. I don't know. Like, why are we learning about this stuff? I don't care. Like, there's no storyline either. So you're just sitting here listening to nonsense, basically, and then you're like, okay, and then you never see him again. Okay, well, I felt like I should have been taking notes the entire time, not just for the podcast here, but like just to be able to keep up with what the hell is going on. I'm sure maybe in part 5 it pays off that there's midget elves that work in a bank, but
you've never seen all of them.
To this movie. No. No.
So I suspect I'm not going to see any Harry Potter Funkos behind you in a display case like you have right now.
No, definitely not. No way.
Kevin Israel, you want to go first this time?
I'll go.
I think I stole your thunder for the last episode.
Yeah. So I enjoyed the world building in Harry Potter. I thought the movie opens awesome with the hateable Dursleys. I remember when I saw this in the theater. I had not read the books when I saw this. I have read the books since then. I thought they did a great job making that family absolutely detestable at both at a child's level and at a whatever age I was when I saw this in the theater. I like coming of age stories. I like seeing characters develop through a movie and even through all of the movies. So my favorite scene in the whole movie is when Hagrid knocks down the door and fucking zaps the kid with a pig's tail. That I love when assholes get their comeuppance, and I thought that was such a perfect scene. That portion of the movie with the Dursleys and the whole building up to Harry being this kind of abused underappreciated kid was great. I thought that was great. I agree that then once they get to here's Diagon Alley and the train and the school, it's a ton of exposition, but I also feel like it was necessary exposition because she built a fuckload of universe. Like she created a whole society that was so big and so colorful. And I think they did a great job visually keeping it moving while it was a lot of telling and not showing. I think the visuals of it were great. The scene in where in the bank was probably the most anti-Semitic scene I've ever seen. Those trolls were just a little more Jewish than the flying guy in the first episode 1 of Star Wars. I'm not sure who was
Sebulba is his name.
Yeah,
Watto.
Jewish propaganda. But the big nose goblins, I think, take it by a nose. I feel like Harry just like won the wizard lottery when he opened up that. I wish somebody would have said how much money was in there. Like what's the you could buy Hogwarts with this, Harry, or something. It was just piles of gold, like doubloons, just coins and treasure chests. And he just goes and like buys some chocolates. I would have been like, I'm going to get some bitches. All right, let me go get some of those female goblins.
What's he going to a cotillion in the Catskills? Bang.
Yeah. So let me see. There was when they're going through Diagon Alley and they're looking at all the different animals, there was a bat hanging there, and I was like, you know what? Maybe this is a weird time to be looking at bats in bazaars. I think that's how pandemics get started, Harry. Stay away from the bat stand.
At least you didn't need
it. But then when they get to Hogwarts, I've never been at an Ivy League school. I was never admitted to an Ivy League school, but I feel like Hogwarts is what every Ivy League school ends up being. Like, I feel like they're all walking around in their with their little ties and their sweaters and everything, and they all have British accents, even if it is over here. And my initial gut when I saw all those kids was I hate those kids, but then I just realized it's because I never got into Harvard or Cornell. The Sorting Hat. I love the Sorting Hat. I think it's hysterical. I also thought it's funny how one kid's just like Hufflepuff, and then for Harry, he's like, "Ooh, we're gonna take some time with you." If I was the kid that got thrown to Hufflepuff, I would have been like, "I could have gotten a little more." Like I'm not a deep enough person for you to delve into.
There were a lot.
And so does the hat know everything? Would the hat have been like, "Oh, this is interesting. He's masturbated 4 times today. Clearly not a Gryffindor.
Last week you touched yourself in an impure manner.
You have an erection right now, as a matter of fact. It's disgusting."
That sounds like every priest in a confessional right now.
You're thinking about Professor Hooch.
Yeah.
Thank you. I had a mention of Professor Hooch. What a weird fucking name. I got nothing more.
Wait. Is that Maggie Smith, the old lady?
The Quidditch coach, right?
No, I don't know that one. I just know Maggie Smith, the one who sat next to Dumbledore in the hall. I forgot her name already.
Oh, McGonagall.
Okay, sure.
And so in school, so they start school when they're 11. They start Hogwarts when they're 11, and I think it goes for 7 years till they're 18. And then they learn about broom riding and potions and spell casting and They never have to learn like history or trigonometry or any of that bullshit. Like they avoid all that shit and they get to learn all this cool. That's what fucking school should have been. I had to take social studies. These kids are learning how to make a love potion. Such a better school.
Yeah, we had to do home ec. What a waste. and in gym class, they made us take fucking square dancing. Like that's ever happened.
I remember square dancing. Holy shit.
You mean to tell me we can't have what was that called? Like the snowball fight where you line up and you just throw balls at each other, dodgeball or baseball or
dodgeball.
Are you kidding me? But we had to do square dancing in Central Jersey. Fuck you.
I remember square. Now I'm gonna have a fucking flashback to square dancing.
Oof.
And I got to tell you, as great as magic looks, and they're able to look through these books that have moving pictures in them, and the paintings move and all that, I would still take my fucking iPhone. Like my iPhone seems so much better than all the magic out there. It can find out shit so much faster than however many books you have. Like they're still going through books. Like fine, have your magic, but get an iPad or something. It'll make things so much easier than this big creepy library I had to sort through. I definitely miss Alan Rickman. He is amazing in this. He really encapsulates. I read the first book after I saw the first movie, and obviously it tainted me a little bit, but he really encaptured the character and just did such a great job. I adore Alan Rickman.
Who does?
The dark arts teacher. Like as soon as they introduced him, and I thought this even when I saw the movie, I was like, he's the bad guy. Like he's obviously the bad guy. Like he was sweating and nervous, and I didn't know he was going to be the main bad guy, but it was like clearly something's up with him. Like they telegraphed that from a mile away.
Yeah.
No matter how exciting they tried to make that Quidditch match look, no matter how just chasing and all the excitement and the bad Slytherin kid and all that, fucking Jesus, broom riding will never look cool. Like no, I don't like it. Just will never. Like remember when you saw the scene in Return of the Jedi when they rode those speeders through the forest and you're like, I want one of those.
Yeah.
I need what they came out with the toy that exploded when you hit the button.
Yeah.
Nobody saw a broom and was like, that's awesome. As the race of the speedster, whatever they were called in Return of the Jedi.
Speeder bikes.
Yes. There's definitely some Harry Potter kink out there for centaurs. I feel like there's definitely a bunch of people who are like, well, I'm going to be the centaur today, and be like, oh, we're going to come over there and get on you. But to somebody, the end of the movie, I even thought when I saw it in the theater, I thought it was a little confusing because the one thing they didn't do very good was explaining the whole Voldemort thing. And I think they give you little bits of it throughout the movie. And then at the end, he's just in the back of the guy's head, which was a weird thing. And
that was very
just trip him and push him on the back of his head.
Yeah. That was very Quado from Total Recall-ish.
Yes. Yeah, very good call. It's just, and then he dies. He dies because of Harry. And the reason Harry's able to kill him was such a weak explanation.
Love.
It was your mother's love, Harry. It was your love. And he'd never felt like what? Like you went through all this magical shit and all this stuff, and the best you could come up with was love made him melt. Like, I was sure they were going to be like, oh, remember when you touched that chocolate frog? It was actually quoted in Fizzinabil's something elixir, but not just love. Like that was. I thought that was the weakest part of this whole movie is how Harry killed the main bad guy, and then Voldemort appears to be dead, and then he suddenly pops up and leaves, and it's like, well, what was the threat to Voldemort? He's not dead. He didn't need this guy, and then he goes on, by the way, through the next so many movies. And he keeps getting stopped for the next like 4 movies. And it never seems like there's a risk for Voldemort. Like he's always going to be fun. And they're like, well, he's losing power. Is he? Because he keeps finding assholes to follow him and to let him live in their head. Like that's pretty powerful to me. Like if I didn't have a body, but I could live in the back of Goatee's head and look through those beautiful blonde locks all day. Like that's a decent power right there. So the end of the movie always bothered me because I feel like Voldemort was kind of given short shrift, and it didn't make a lot of sense to me the first time I watched it. Once I've read the books and went back and watched it, I got it. But as a standalone movie, as far as Voldemort supposed to be like the bad guy, it fell a little short for me. But all of that said, I really like these movies. I won't go as far as saying I love them. I was never, I'm not dressing up as Harry Potter. I don't have a broom or a wand, or any Funkos. But I like it. It was the movie didn't drag for me. I enjoyed it. I liked learning about the universe and the whole world building of the Harry Potter. But it wasn't perfect. But the books, the books were marginally better, but they did a very good job bringing the books to life, and bringing all the characters to life. So I enjoyed it. I don't have a problem with Harry Potter.
Give me a number.
6.
These notes brought to you by guttingthesacredcow.com, where you can go on our store and find hats, bags, shirts, mugs, cell phone holders. No Funko dolls. Sorry, guys. None of those yet. Although we probably should look at that, Kevin.
Oh, we should get Funkos of us.
We totally should.
For no other reason, just so we can have Funkos of us.
Yes, that and condoms with our faces on, so we can go inside your wives and girlfriends on a nightly basis is just as well. And don't forget, guttingthesacredcow.com every day has new articles for your enjoyment. Some great poop reading, if you will. Read on the toilet, read in traffic. I don't give a shit. Just read our articles. We do lists of 10 movies we want to see or about to see or have seen, sequels that we want to see or don't want to see, quotes, you name it. We talk about it Monday through Friday. And if you want to advertise, guttingthesacredcow@gmail.com. I didn't know Harry Potter had a British version of Buzz from Home Alone as his brother. Kevin, you're 100% right. Quidditch is about as much fun as hopping around a broom in your fucking basement. Nope, not buying Quidditch. And your apps, the Jedi analogy is perfect. If that was your payoff for something that you were excited about seeing, I mean, we all have stuff like, oh, I can't. If I read the book, like I read The Lost World, the second Jurassic Park book, and I go, I can't wait to see them run through that raptor field. And that's the one thing they did get right, is that when the raptors attack them, they fucking gut them and just kill everybody. It's all great. So when you have something in the book you're really looking forward to, now to be fair, I have not read any of the books. I've just heard about them. My sister's read them. I've heard about them in passing, but she said, oh, this Quidditch thing's going to be pretty cool, because I actually saw it before she did in the theater. And it was just like, yeah. It's almost like seeing the VR scene. Do you remember the film The Lawnmower Man, the Stephen King short story?
Oh, yeah.
That whole VR scene? Oof.
Yep.
That wasn't that good, was it? Nope. Same like this. I like the idea of owls delivering the mail. It beats having an awkward conversation who judges me that I still get Netflix DVDs in the mail. Because I want the new releases faster. I don't feel like waiting 6 months, guys, okay? And their library is a lot bigger than their online one. When they keep saying he who may not be named, are they referring to Jim J. Bullock, Play from Kid and Play, or the guy who played Biff Tannen from Back to the Future? Which one of those three? Did everyone in England need or they deserve that half shitty bowl haircut?
Goes with their fucked up teeth.
Yeah. I wonder if there is a spell for Emma Watson now. Hollywood, blowhardus, disappearus. All I got was a half snicker. Fuck you. I thought about that one long and hard. All right, back to the drawing board. Draco Malfoy is just the British alias for Johnny Lawrence or Kevin Goatee, as far as I'm concerned.
I'll agree with that. Do you know that kid won't act anymore because for a while he wouldn't act because people hated him so much?
Yeah, that's great. Alan Rickman still
He's on the Flash for a while. He has a really bad hairline now.
Oh, that's right. He
Almost
was
worse
on the
than mine.
Flash.
Roganus Apirus. Alan Rickman found work after playing Hans Gruber, who's an asshole, so I'm not buying that. Speaking of Hans Gruber, it was quite disconcerting to see him dressed like the lead singer of Taking Back Sunday. I'm amazed. Thank you. You like Taking Back Sunday? You would. Ew, gross. Did you see him at the Jingle Ball for Z100 10 years ago?
Hurtful.
But true. I'm amazed how Harry Potter did not Purell himself after shaking hands with all of the gingers in the Weasley family. Don't they know they're patient zero for COVID and other horrible diseases?
In case you haven't picked up on it yet, Kevin Goatee has a strong disdain for gingers.
Only the women I like. The men are... British people are ugly. British kids are uglier. Most of those kids look like they're hauling coal in Newcastle or working on the BMW assembly lines. Hermione is the Jessie Spano of Hogwarts. Eventually, she'll develop a pill addiction to stay awake and study her spells. I'm so excited. I'm so scared. This film starts to drag viciously at the forest scene. The chess scene was kind of cool, but the ginger could have easily jumped off instead of let's going through the charade of him getting injured. Really? It was like that one scene. Oh, what was that fucking movie? Where they make fun of it, where they're screaming from afar. Oh, was it Naked Gun? No, I think it was. Where they're screaming from afar, and the steamroller is coming at him in a super slow.
Stop!
Yeah, stop!
Oh no, it was Austin Powers.
That's
it.
It.
Austin Powers.
Oh, yeah, I knew it was a Naked Gun. That's right, Austin Powers. I mean, he's got 5 years. It's like waiting for lava to get you. You have 5 hours to get out of the way.
And he wasn't even injured.
No.
Nothing happened to him.
Oh, he just dusted himself off, and God.
Everybody else was just standing there too.
Yeah.
He's like, Hermione's like, we're still playing, don't move. Why didn't the other kid just not move? I did not grow up in this era, and if I did, Wizards and Potions shit is too nerdy for me. Sorry. Go to Universal Studios where I've been, and you'll immediately be angered by seeing people drop $25 on a plastic wand that doesn't light up. That being said, I get that this is the stage setter for the other films, and I've seen all these films in the theater. I was like, all right, I'll go see it. It's pretty good reviews. But after watching this last night, it's fine. It's fine. Not impressed. Will I watch it again? No, I will not. I bought it, though. There was like a deal on Vudu. You buy the whole series for like $80. So I said, what the fuck? You never know. But it's fine, as I like to say. Does it pass the remote test? Absolutely not. What the test is, sir, is when if you see this on cable at any time or you're flipping around and you happen to stumble upon it at any point in the film, do you stop and watch it? The answer is a hearty no. 5.5 out of 10.
Fair.
Not my. Yeah. Critics, 5-star reviews.
5-star reviews.
Good film directed for a teenage audience in which not only is magic taught, but also how stereotypes affect it, while the film itself recreates some British stereotypes. They are in Britain, so kind of want to, go down that pre-laid path. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone is, despite its trickery, that plainest and least surprising of artifacts. The work of art that is exactly the sum of its parts, neither more nor less. I feel when you say the sum of its parts, you're just bypassing time for something else to come to your mind. Have you
Nevertheless.
In my opinion, yeah, we know it's your opinion because you're fucking saying it. This faithful rendition.
Because it's a review page and you're writing.
This faithful rendition of the inaugural Potter book demonstrates that the franchise is in safe, sensible hands. Although it suffers
Until J.K. Rowling came out and started crushing the entire LGBTQ community. Then everybody was like, maybe we don't like these movies so much.
Maybe that's one of the sole benefits of not fuck you, but fuck me money, is that she has no plans of getting canceled because you can't affect her anyway. Just
she has more money than the Queen.
Yeah, that is true. This faithful I already said that one. Although it suffers nominally from being overstuffed and underpaced, ain't that the truth? It's grand and involving, with magnificent production design and special effects, and some fabulous thesps, present and correct. I hate thesps. We're going to make that a word now. Fuck you.
I don't even know what that is.
Thespians.
Oh, go fuck yourself.
Should we call them lesb for lesbians while we're at it? Can't say homos for homosexuals anymore, can you, right? So no.
Probably not.
Maybe only at J.K. Rowling's house.
Oh, that's true. I think she uses other words.
Yeah, she's got the much more colorful words.
Critics, 1-star reviews. A Xerox copy of the book, and a copy is never as good as the original.
You know what?
Let's pause.
And then there.
You both read the book, right? Or no, sorry. You read the book, Kevin Israel.
Yeah.
How true is it to the film?
I mean, there's like some plot points and some details left out, but the stuff they include is all in the book. Like there's not a big deviation from the book, and everything feels and looks like it's described in the book. Like everything has the same. I mean, it's really how you pictured it. That very like everything's wood and old, and it's very close to the book.
Were the omissions glaring or no?
Not that I remember. No, there's always like detail. I mean, think of how detailed the movie is, and then make it a 400-page book. So she went into a lot of detail, and I want to say there were a couple other side. I think there's that candy store that they go to. I can't remember the name of it. They get butterbeer. I just remember butterbeer. Oh
yeah, they had that Universal, because I remember people going, "They have butterbeer. They have butterbeer."
Yeah.
I go, "Who gives a shit?" And then when I went over to the Simpsons land and drank 3 Duffs, so you tell me who came out ahead. This guy.
But that it shows up in later movies, but I'm pretty sure in the first movie in the first book they go to that place, and there's a whole little storyline that happens there.
Like the Ewok TV movies of the mid-'80s, Harry Potter meaninglessly shoestrings a new fantastical event with every scene. That sentence didn't make sense. They just wanted to say the words Ewok TV movies. That's it. They're like, you know what? I did a Googs, or someone might have mentioned that off the cuff, and I'm going to shoehorn that into a review to seem hip.
We don't say thesps, but we do say googs.
That's right. You can't expect perfection from muggles. Ooh, someone using catchphrases. Zing. Did I throw away the wrong page? No, I did not. Okay. Nope. The blame for this is too heavy a directorial hand. Originality might have flowered under a lighter touch, and the original literary work better served. A lot of words to describe. The book was better.
Yeah, Jesus.
But can you really see, I'm guilty of this too. As you know, I love reading the books before the films, a lot of them. I try not to really marry the two unless they're just glaring omissions. But man, it sounds like these guys had a hard-on for the book that was just unnecessary. I don't know. Amazon 5-star reviews. Sit down for this one, guys. This one's lengthy.
Oh boy.
We're gonna tell the IQ level is probably hovering around dim to dull. You ever do something stupid? I mean, really, really, really dumb when you were younger and thought, wow, that's the dumbest thing I'll ever do. But then you got to do something that tops that. Wasn't that Dumb and Dumber? Lloyd, just remember whenever you do something so dumb, you go and outdo yourself. I'm paraphrasing. Well, I just did that today. I did the dumbest thing I've ever done today. I mean, how many dumb things can you do in 24 hours? 18 or 16 if you count sleep. And I've been thinking, wow, like I'm impressively stupid. Was thinking that for a while, but then I got over it and decided to watch this film again. And wow, it's still really good. Signed 5 stars out of 5. Sorry, 5 stars out of 5. Signed, guy who tucks his sport jersey into his jeans.
Does that review count as one of the dumb things?
This is the dumbest thing I've done is read this review. 75 years old. By the way, Katie, superfan Katie Cohen says, quote, Amazon 1-star reviews will be your legacy upon life after you leave this world. I said, thank you. 75 years old, 5 or 6 viewings in, and I still like it. I like the next one too, but I'm suspicious Amazon is editing the film to run shorter after my purchase. I have heard they shorten movies to save bandwidth. I hope that is not the case with purchase movies. Signed, Oswald was not the lone gunman. I was going to write the Warren Commission's a bunch of retards, but okay. Nothing much to say about a digital movie. It did work, and of course, I like the movie even if J.K. Rowling is a horrid person.
That was a recent one.
Yeah. Condensed story from amazing book. Not too terrible and helpful with the Latin E spells. Now, instead of constantly yelling at my children, OMG, turn off the lights, you animals, I merely breathe Nox. And if by magic, light switches are flicked to conserve energy, and my monies.
Oh, those kids hate you.
Yeah.
You do that with a clapper like 30 years ago.
I wonder if the kid's going to learn how to do a spell, Parentis Emancipationis. Yeah. Amazon 1-star reviews. I only made it to the 30-minute mark, but that was quite enough to know that this is a tortured pile of, look, isn't that fabulous? In other words, an inventive mind presuming that it's creative. The net result is banal.
This guy sucks.
Again, someone who just goes, I heard the word banality in the office. I'm going to try and shoehorn that in somewhere. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I've got 4 followers on my Amazon reviews. Mom, look at this. And he prints it out and puts it on the fridge when he goes home for Thanksgiving.
I dare you to use it in a sentence. In a sentence, I'm going to write a whole paragraph around it.
Next review. Jess doesn't do it for me. Smiley face emoji.
Like somebody took time. Somebody watched that and was like, you know what? These words need to be read. I need to share this opinion.
If you think that's bad, how about these next 3? Next one. Ready? Kids movie. Apparently, this guy does a lot of literature seeking in the children's section of the library, and he goes, these labels be damned. Next review. Stupid. Hulk smash. Next one. Good.
Stop it.
Swear to God.
Stop it.
Swear to God. But it's a fucking 1-star review. They rate good. What's great then?
I went to buy a T-shirt off of Amazon, and I was looking at the reviews, and somebody wrote, "This shirt was fine if you like T-shirts, but I don't really wear T-shirts." And I was like, "What the fuck did you?"
There has to be. I'm all about this. I'm trying to make this a bit, but whatever. I think that you should be just like mailing a letter. You have to have a stamp. You have to pay to write every social media post there is, and that includes taking pictures. For all you assholes who want to take photos of your fucking chicken parm, let's flash back to the '80s when we were all youngins. If I would have taken a picture of my dinner in the house, and my dad went to the little photo mat in the middle of a fucking mall parking lot, my dad would have fucking yelled. He goes, "You wasted money that I develop a fucking photo of a goddamn chicken parm sandwich. I would have gotten a smack." The same shit.
You whip out your camera. Remember the flash bulbs? Remember the flash blocks you had to put on top of the camera?
Like a magazine.
You wasted a flash block on your chicken parm.
You have to charge for post. This is going to get the stupidity out of the world, and maybe the dumb people can at least hide the fact that they're stupid. Remember, the less you say, the dumber you come across. But
Kevin, that idea is right up there with licenses for babies. I'm all for it.
Okay, cool. Let's get on that. We'll run an office on a joint ticket. Libertarian, I guess. Last one, and this one's up for. This is directly up Know Your Role Boulevard and Kevin Israel Lane. I heard a lot about Harry Potter, so I decided to watch this movie. I had to stop once I saw the depiction of goblins. It does seem anti-Semitic. I also checked the web to see if I'm the only one and saw people divide, they don't use proper grammar, both pro and against. To me, it seems pretty obvious. We'll call Amazon to get my money back. Hello, Bezos? These goblins are too Jewy looking for my liking. Why? Why? Because goblins run the banks? Wait till they see the Harry Potter sequel where goblins run Hogwarts TV station and newspapers as well.
And Hogwarts Comedy Club. God damn it.
Here's someone who thinks that when someone sneezes that they're saying a Jew instead of saying a chew. This doesn't get tiresome, does it? People are looking for mountains out of molehills with this thing. But apparently you agree with them that you thought that this was on the
I mean, I thought it was pretty it's more than coincidental, but I didn't boycott the movie over it. I mean, shit happens. Like I remember, and you could cut all of this. I remember when the first when episode 1 came out, and I saw it, and I remember thinking it sucked. But then I left the theater, and I was walking through the mall, and I ran into one of my buddies. I was in college, and I ran into one of my buddies who was black, and he's like, "What did you think of that movie?" And I was like, I don't know. I thought it didn't compare to the original. It was kind of. He's like, no. What do you think about all the racism? And I was like, oh, I didn't pick up on that right away. And he's like, the Asian people, the what's his name was supposed to be like Jamaican, and the flying guy was a Jew. You should be offended. And I was like, I guess that just all went over my head. And then I went back and watched it, and I was like, yeah, he was right. This is all pretty bad. But, like, I'm not going to fucking start a march over it. Like, it's crazy.
Whoa. Back up. You had a black friend?
I did. I was very ahead of the times back in the 90s.
Hilarious. I didn't get that, but then again, I'm not out one with an agenda trying to find things out of nothing. But okay, you found something, and some other people maybe did too. Fine, but I think that I don't know. People are trying too hard to get.
I mean, and honestly, it could be. I mean, I laughed. Like, I think it's a funny. If it's a coincidence, it's a funny, ridiculous coincidence, and I don't think there's any like malintent. But you know, they were big-nosed people running the bank. I mean. Who looked like Jewish propaganda posters from the 40s.
Were you waiting for them to hatch eggs too and grow horns?
Yeah, I was waiting for them to be like, oh, and like, look at my little yellow star that I wear too. That's.
Then them all go to dinner and start complaining about the check and how the food is undercooked and send it back 4 times.
You've been out with my parents?
We've all been waiters, right? Okay. Kevin Israel, did Joey gut the sacred cow?
You know, I was afraid you were going to ask me this.
I love when you start with you know, and then that exact tone goes.
I got to tell you, I'm really torn. This might be the hardest decision I've had to make.
Today?
It's in the past hour. Because he did, he makes a lot of really good points in this movie. Didn't hold up as well as I remembered it. I didn't hate it though, and I don't think it necessarily uncovered anything that was unknown before. But he made a lot of really good points. I want to say he came really fucking close to the gutting it, but this movie made $1 billion. Made a fucking bill. It has a park. It has a theme park. It has people play. There are legitimate Quidditch fucking clubs. There are tournaments. I think it's on like ESPN Ocho. They actually show like Quidditch games. So it's hard for me to believe that
I don't know if
even
that's
a
actually
man
helping or arguing against it.
I don't know either. I'm just saying it's created such a culture around it that it's hard for me to believe that even a man of Joey's stature could gut it. So as much as I want to say he did, because I was taken by a lot of his arguments, and on rewatch I saw a lot of the points he made. I don't think he quite got it. I think this movie's too big.
I think I agree. I'll co-sign on the non-gutting. I think that goofy Brit with the teeth almost could pull a Nelson from The Simpsons and go, ha ha. No, it was not quite there. The goal for gutting, and again, I gave it a 5.5. I'm not loving, I'm not hating it. What I'm looking for in a gutting is, can you change my mind, or at the very least, which has happened before, can you get me to knock my score down a point based on your argument? And he did not. So I'm going to give it a no gutting. So, but well done. We appreciate the effort.
A good effort.
Very good effort. Very good point.
Kudos to you, sir.
I tried.
Yeah, no, it is. Listen, and it'd be even funnier if one of us were a super Harry Potter nerd. Because right now we look at that woman on the internet with the meme with the short haircut, the triggered face, which is always funny. So
the lady with her eyes open.
Yeah, so the glasses. Yeah, the triggered face. Yeah, but unfortunately, none of us give that much of a fuck about Harry Potter. But if you would have came at us about the Transformers 1985 cartoon, you'd be a dead man where you sat right now.
Ooh!
Yeah, you'd be dead. Or Big Trouble in Little
Like
China.
that movie. I'm not gutting that.
Well, fuck no. I don't think anyone hates that movie. But that's the case.
No.
Joey, why don't you shout out your podcast again and tell us where we can find you everywhere else?
No problem. Well, every week I am on the So Wizard podcast. That's available at SoWizardPodcast.com. You can find the podcast there, as well as links to all our social media accounts. We have a YouTube channel with tons of free and exclusive content on there as well. Just go to YouTube, search So Wizard Podcast. And every week we're there. We're reviewing movies, TV shows, and other nerdy stuff. So come check us out.
Why don't you review this? Why don't you review this podcast on your podcast? How meta would that be?
Oh man, podcast in a podcast, like Inception.
Oof, overrated film. We've done.
Did the top stop spinning?
Yeah. Kevin Israel, where can we find you besides raising your fists at a poster for episode 1?
KevinIsrael.com for whatever comedy dates might come up. I'm going to be actually at Bananas Comedy Club at the end of November. I can't remember the dates. I should have had that written down. But you can go on my calendar and check that out. And you can get my album, The Struggle Is Real, on iTunes and everywhere else you get audio.
You should go trick-or-treating with your dogs dressed as one of the goblins from Harry Potter.
We actually just, my dog's name is Gozer, and we dressed him up as the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man last year.
I remember that photo. Yeah, that's I like that. You should have him dressed as Rick Moranis, but with a black eye this year.
Just punch him every street.
I'm not advocating you hit your dog, you fucking savage. Maybe some
He's
makeup.
a big dog. He can take it.
Now, of all the other jokes we made on, the ASPCA will be on our asses next.
I love my dogs.
KevinGoatee.com. Find me there. Find our other stuff, football picks, all that, dates whenever those come back. GuttingTheSacredCow.com. More importantly, go check out our articles we post there every single Monday through Friday, as well as our merch store. Like I said, I mentioned before, T-shirts, hats, bags, I don't know, you name it, we've got it.
Get your gear.
Hoodies. It's hoodie time of year, folks. Go to Gutting the Sacred Cow hoodie. And, of course, GTSC Podcast on Twitter. Make sure you follow us everywhere you can. Pretty please on social media. If you have not yet done so, please give us a 5-star rating, 2-sentence review on your podcast platform of choice. It does help. Lastly, if you want to advertise with us, we have our advertisers. We're actually sponsored by Podcorn this coming week. So guttingthesacredcow@gmail.com is where you reach us to email us, and that's it. But Joey, thanks a lot again from So Wizards Podcast, hanging out to do the Harry the Potter. What am I becoming British? Harry the Potter, you've been now knighted.
Harry's Potter.
As by the way, did that not? I just hated hearing all those kids say Potter the way they said that. That kind of irked me. It had to just it's whatever. Kevin Goatee, Kevin Israel, Joey from So Wizards Podcast. Excuse me. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you later. Take care. Bye.
Goodbye.